Alright. It's the sound of another Malarkey hour coming right at you. This is your host, Matt, and sitting across of me, to me, in the computer screen is my co-host, John. How's it going, sir?
I'm trying to stay sane.
How are you? As I am. I'm good, John. I think we're all trying to stay sane. This great summer has been sort of shitty, right? We're already halfway through the summer almost, and I don't know about you, but I'm not having a lot of fun. So
go to one of the closed city pools.
You know, but
the closed rivers are nice right now.
All right. But you know what? It got me thinking. You know, this is probably gonna be. I don't know about you. We're about the same age. This is probably our shittiest summer ever, right? Since we've been alive.
Probably.
So, you know, it got me thinking. Cause you know what? I don't want to be a negative Nancy.
I don't want to go back to my memories of that counselor summer camp.
No, let's not do that, John. It's not that type of podcast. No, but you know what? It got me thinking. You know, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, a negative Ned, so to speak. So I fear let's not focus on the bad times. Let's focus on the good times. So let's just forget this summer ever happened. And you know what? Let's look back a little bit. And let's look back to, you know what I feel? I don't know about you. You give me your opinion on this. For me, probably the best summer in my lifetime was the summer of, you want to guess what year? That I'm thinking of? Maybe it'll coincide with yours.
2004.
No, close. For me, it's the summer of 1999.
Okay.
It was
It was the summer of '69.
It was the summer of, you know, a lot of things. Well, you know, just look at like pop culture wise. Like that was the summer when, you know, we had the Clinton administration ending. It was right before that big, you know, crash in our stock market where we thought, you know what, the internet's the future, right? And hey, this is always gonna be good. Summer of.
And this stressed you out at 13 years old?
No. And summer of that's the summer that Wild Wild West starring Will Smith and Salma Hayek came out. What else? Sixth Sense came out that year, John. Remember Sixth Sense? When we found out that Bruce Willis's hair wasn't real. At the end, right. that was a big secret. That was the summer of Blair Witch Project. Do you remember standing in line for that, John? That long line to see this quote unquote real documentary.
Saw it at the movies for my friend's birthday.
How was that? Were you caught up in the internet sensation watching all those, you know, grainy videos back in the dial-up days when, you know, a 10-second clip would take 2 hours to download?
I actually ordered a book.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was before or after the movie, but it was like, no, when I say before or after, I mean like probably that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I saw the book.
Right.
Like I'm pretty, and it was like, I still thought it was real. Like I had the book and it had like weird backstories and shit.
Yeah, well, it did, right? Because I mean, it was back in the infancy stage of the internet, so there was no way to really.
It was like a book with like pictures of like, you know, sketches of the Blair Witch and history of the witch.
Yeah.
I thought it was real.
You know, that's probably one of the last times they would have been able to get away with it, right? There's no way you can get away with that in today's day and age. Not with social media.
Fargo did it too, right?
Yeah. Well, they had that tag in the beginning, right? Based on a true story.
Yeah. At that point, though, you're just a liar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I understand, like, Blair Witch Project, it's like, oh, okay, it's fake, but it's fun, I guess, you know?
Yeah, no.
Fargo, it's just like, you fucking liar.
But But you know what? Yeah, that summer was pretty interesting. It was, we had all this, and I bring it up because another piece of pop culture came up during that summer, and it's something I want to segue into in one of our newest segments, John. We did one not too long ago. It's a segment that I have coined as the 45s, where we look at two songs. We look at the lyrics of two songs. We named it the 45s because, for all the youngins out there, there used to be these black circles that you put down on a thing called a record player, and then you put a needle over that black disc, and it would play music. And they used to have these smaller discs, so to say, that had two songs on it, one on each side, and they were called 45s. So that's the reason for the naming of this segment. And we're going to talk about two songs. And the first song I want to talk about was a song that came out in the summer of 99, John. It was probably, I want to say, the biggest song of that summer. You want to guess the song?
It wasn't like Will Smith, was it?
Will Smith did have a song, but I don't think his song was bigger than this song.
Does it have the year in the song?
No, it doesn't.
Eminem, maybe?
Eminem's album did come out in 99, but that wasn't what I'm thinking of. I think this song was even bigger than Eminem.
I don't know. What is it?
It was a little song by a singer named Ricky Martin, and the song in question was Livin La Vida Loca. Remember Livin La Vida Loca, John? The summer 99?
I try to forget it.
How crazy. And you know what? In fact, it technically didn't come out in the summer. It was released on March 23rd, 1999, but it really took its hold of America really that summer when everybody went crazy for this song.
I remember kids at school wouldn't stop saying it.
It became a if there was such a thing as memes back then, it would have become a meme, right? So this Puerto Rican singer, everybody became Puerto Rican that summer, John. Ricky Martin made everybody Puerto Rican for a summer, very briefly, with this song.
I heard he got so many women.
He did. He was just going through women, right? The 13-year-old self of my version of me, it's just like, man, that guy must just be getting lots of pussy. This guy is just swimming in it, right?
Yeah.
But no. So I mean, this song was crazy. For any kid out there that is too young to remember or didn't live through 99, this was probably the biggest song in the last 25 years. You want to there's there a bigger song in the last 25 years that you can think of?
I was going 25 years before that.
It's actually any song since 95. You think of anything bigger in the last 25 years? You mentioned Eminem. Maybe my name is. That was pretty popular that summer. I mean, I think they're probably neck and neck in that regard.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eminem, probably for sure. Trying to think of who stuck around, or even like a one-hit wonder, maybe.
Maybe Who Let the Dogs Out? But I mean, was that 99? I think that was the year before, maybe. I can't remember.
Smash Mouth or something.
Oh yeah, with that Shrek song, right?
Yeah. I know people that are definitely pissed because there's probably a lot of rap that we're missing.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about I always say the biggest song, your grandma knew about it, right? I mean, that's how I gauge popularity in songs. Does your grandma know about this song?
Yeah.
And we can say everybody and their grandma.
That's your barometer.
That's my barometer, John. But Livin La Vida Loca, quick translation for anybody who doesn't know Spanish. Livin La Vida Loca means living the crazy life, John. And let's You know, let's go through it a little bit because um, it's a deep song, I think.
Is it?
it speaks it speaks to living that crazy life, John. So you want to go through the lyrics with me? Go on this
Yeah.
journey back to
I'm gonna,
'99 when we
I'm gonna
were
pull up.
we tweens, John. We teens. You know, the world was right. It was, you know, in front of us. We had huge dreams and aspirations, and Ricky Martin was singing the soundtrack of our lives. Um, so
This was,
let's
wait,
begin.
is it?
Huh?
I'm looking at this whole thing in
In Spanish?
Spanish.
no, no,
Uh,
no, no. We're look at the English version. So,
okay.
you know, it starts off with the first verse is she's into superstitions, black cats and voodoo dolls. I feel a premonition that that girl's gonna make me fall. So you know he's talking about, you know, the title of the song is "Living My Crazy Life." So you know what's crazier than dealing with a woman who's into superstitions, John, who is into black cats and voodoo dolls. Have you ever dated a girl who was into black cats and voodoo dolls?
No, I worked with a girl who would make voodoo dolls.
Do you think she would make a man that she was dating's life crazy?
Probably. She would sit there and sew them in her cubicle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But would you like
Yeah.
like would you call them voodoo dolls, or is that what you were interpreting?
No, that's what she said they were.
It was her own voodoo dolls, or was she like, was this a business she was doing? Now I'm interested in this voodoo doll
No, she
maker.
was. I didn't talk to her very much because she kind of freaked me out.
Hey,
And
what if
she wasn't like this hot girl that I was trying to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it was just more like fucking weirdo.
It would be scary one day you came in and she's like
Looks like
sewing.
me.
Yeah, she's sewing up a doll. The doll's wearing like a Pittsburgh Steelers hat and like has glasses.
Like, yeah. It says John. It says John.
It's like, what are you making there, Kathy?
Uh,
So
uh,
so he's already
Kind of like the way you just see people with the yarn, the big fucking thing only.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so you know
It's not like she would just have the same fucking like. I remember she was working on the same one for a little while. I don't think she worked there that long, but it's not something you forget because you don't run into them too long.
yeah, I never met anybody who made voodoo dolls. She just told you, she's like, this is voodoo dolls. This is what I do when I'm bored, and yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
vindictive.
she was also the same person that told me that she was the only person I've ever met that said she was a Satanist.
Okay. So okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, this is obviously a a lady who will make a man's life crazy. So you know this guy in this song, he's dealing
I'm
with
playing
somebody
the
like
song
this.
in my head. I can't read the lyrics without hearing the song.
So you know, yeah, I mean, this guy, he's singing about a girl like this, John. Somebody who's
That
gonna,
girl's gonna make me fall. Do you think that means like die?
you know, I can mean a lot of things. That fall can mean physical, right? Like a physical injury, or emotionally, or just in general in his life, right? It's gonna make him fall from like
Fall
all these
from
girls.
from fame.
So yeah,
And that's what happened.
so yeah, and then you know, you know, he continues. You know, You know, talking about her. I think he's trying to shed more light about, you know, how this woman is in his life. Maybe she's a new woman. Maybe she's a you know, a woman who's been in his life for a little bit. And he's just realizing these things about her. But although I would think if you knew she was into voodoo dolls before, you would have a little bit of an inkling that she is gonna make your life a little crazy, right? So he continues. He says she's into new sensations, new kicks in the candlelight. She's got a new addiction for every day and night. So she's into new sensations. So you know what? Maybe that's what attracted him to her in the first place. Maybe she was a little freaky and he liked that. You know, he
You
mentions.
in the candlelight. I'm assuming that's like sex, right?
Ah, yeah, maybe.
Unless those are fucking shoes. You kicks.
New kicks, right?
Um,
And you know, apparently she's got a new addiction for every day and night. So this girl has you know, some, you know, various tastes, right? She's a dynamic person who, you know, for every day and night she has a new addiction. So I think she's a surprise to him every day and night. So maybe that's what he means. And
yeah.
that's, and maybe that's what keeps him to her, right? She's this addiction to him, and she's every day and night she brings another reason for him to stay with her, even though he knows this isn't good for him. That he's living that
Right.
crazy life, John.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it could be whatever. She could be addicted to. I don't know.
Did you ever have that in your life where you were with somebody and you knew, hey, this isn't good for me, but you know what, this is too much fun to not, you know, continue down this spiraling, you know.
Yeah, I think everybody. No, right? I say everybody. I go, yeah. No. Yeah. Yes, I have.
And then, you know, he goes into
I'm not too old to do that again.
and then, you know, he
Like,
could
like something you're supposed to learn from. I'm like, yeah, I'd probably still
yeah.
go down that path for a little while.
Yeah, maybe you'll meet this woman here, right? Although this was 21 years ago, so how old do you think this lady must be already a little, you know, up there? So,
Right.
but he continues. He says she'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. She'll make you live her crazy life, but she'll take away your pain like a bullet to your brain. Come on. So you know what? You know that doesn't sound that bad. Taking your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. That seems fun, right? Although you gotta be careful because, you know, obviously you don't want to catch a cold. You know, getting wet. So, but you know what? She makes you take your clothes off, so you're not wearing those wet clothes, right? So, I mean,
I like something these crazy kids do with their sex drugs.
yeah. So, you know, they're dancing in the rain, John. They're living their own version of singing in the rain. You know, obviously he says she'll make you live her crazy life, but he does put a caveat there. She'll take away your pain. So maybe those drugs you're talking about, maybe she has a good connect, right, to a good drug dealer, and maybe that's the reason he's staying with her, right? What if this guy in this song is a drug addict, and you know he just
pulls the pin out of your voodoo doll,
right? Or that too, right? If anything, she's an enabler to this guy. That's the reason he can't you know, leave her, whether it's through voodoo means or other chemical means, but yeah, she will take away your pain. So at least she's not that sadistic, right?
Till you piss her off.
But he does say like a bullet to your brain, though. So he's throwing two like contrasting things there, right? Like, what does he mean?
I assume after a bullet to your brain, you don't really feel pain. Assuming you do it right.
Right. So maybe he means it's gonna be quick, right? Like it's gonna be just like a bullet to your brain. It's gonna be like that. So at one moment she's making your life. You know, I think that's what it is. I think you're right. Like, she'll make your life crazy in one moment, and then the other moment she'll take away your brain just like that, just like a bullet to your brain. So okay. So he's trying to show you how quickly she can turn around, and maybe that's the reason he's staying with her, right? She's somebody who can make him crazy, but then, you know, she makes his life a lot easier, and it's that, you know, back and forth that, you know, it's driving him crazy, but at the same time it's almost like he's enjoying it too.
Almost like she's got incriminating photos
of Rick and Martin.
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody your secret. In '99, imagine if in '99, deep in the depths of this song's popularity, somebody came out with, you know, Ricky Martin's secret that, you know, obviously
gay?
That he was gay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have hurt.
Yeah.
Back then, I think it would have hurt.
I think now nobody, you know, gives a shit, but like I forgot.
Now you just sell 10 times as many.
Like, I forgot what year did he come out officially?
98.
No, but like, what year officially did he
That's a good question. Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah, I forgot what year he you're coming out.
It looks like 2010 maybe.
Was it 2010? Okay.
There's an ABC News headline says Ricky Martin comes out.
Oh, you're right, Barbara Walters. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's what it says.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it was still probably a good decade after this song came out.
Yeah, it looks like 2010. Rolling Stone has the same thing in 2010.
Okay. So. Yes, I mean maybe you're right. She had that secret. All right.
He actually just came. The statement's just, I am a fortunate homosexual man.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a fortune. Well, you know it's funny because for a while he was in this on again and off again relationship with this like woman. What was she? They mentioned it was. She was somewhat famous too, I think. Rebecca de Alba. She's a Mexican TV host. But Wikipedia describes it as an on-off platonic relationship. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Like all Michael Jackson's babies, mama.
Yeah. So, all right. So continuing, he continues about this woman, upside, inside out. She's living la vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, living la vida loca. Her lips are devil red, and her skin's the color mocha. She will wear you out, living la vida loca. Come on, living la vida loca. Come on, she's living la vida loca. So he's describing her, right? He's her lips are
this down a little bit here.
so her lips are devil red. So obviously he's already explained a little bit. She's living la vida loca. That's pretty self-explanatory.
She'll push you up and pull you down.
So that's the dichotomy that he mentioned earlier, where one moment she's making you crazy, and then the other one she's taking that away. So she'll push you and pull you down. So I mean, maybe she's
bipolar.
Yeah, or maybe she's in a way an inspiring person in his life, right? She will push him, but then or she'll pull him down, but then she'll push him to do things, right? She'll push him to do maybe some positive things. I don't know. There's something to be said to have somebody in your life like that, right?
She'll push and pull you down. It sounds like the same thing. It's like she's good and bad for you, I guess.
Yeah. And then he starts describing a little bit. Her lips are devil red. And her skin's the color mocha, so she's a woman with maybe some Latin flavor in her, or
What does mocha actually mean?
Like brown, like mocha.
I mean, I know it's like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you would be thinking like Latin or
black. Or some South American, almost hot South America. Like South America has like Brazilian, maybe like one of those like super hot South American babes, right?
Yeah.
That he's told Ricky Martin's totally gonna fuck, right?
Yeah. Pornhub does a good job at representing them.
Yeah, that whole mocha section.
Well, I met the Brazilians.
Okay, but then he continues. Woke up in New York City in a funky cheap hotel. She took my heart and she took my money. She must have slipped me a sleeping pill. So so now these are serious allegations that he's throwing out there about this particular woman with an obsession with voodoo dolls. He's saying that he was drugged, John. He thinks she must have roofied him.
Yeah.
Let me see this. New York City, funky cheap hotel.
In a funky cheap hotel. Although at least it's a hotel, it's not a motel. Yeah. Isn't there a big difference between a hotel and a motel, other than obviously the H and the M?
I don't know. I think I told you. I think the only difference with that.
Studio 6 and the Motel 6 is the microwave.
That's the biggest thing.
That's all. That's the only difference I noticed.
But he woke. Have you ever woken up in a funky cheap hotel and then remember how you got there, John?
Nah, I always know why I got there.
So you never been roofied by a crazy woman?
No, I've roofied myself, but not with a roofie.
But he wakes up. He wakes up sort of portrayed because, she took his money, right? That's bad enough. I mean, you don't want to take have your money taken away, but she also took his heart, John, and I think that's. But you know what? I wonder. Okay, so he's talking about this weird woman.
I don't think it's literal.
You don't think it's literal? But I don't know if this woman's crazy enough. I mean, what if she she's into voodoo?
I don't think it would have been able to write the song afterwards.
I don't know, John. She's dealing with black magic and voodoo, so.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he says too?
I've been robbed in a cheap motel.
Wait, did you have your heart taken from you?
No.
Or a kidney?
Just $1,200.
We'll talk about that story we want in a subscribers only video if you ever wanna, unleash your burden on the world. She, that's sort of a scary situation to be in, woken up into, right?
What's that old urban legend?
The kidney?
Yeah, it's a kidney, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wake up in the bathtub full of ice.
Full of ice. You're like, the back of it's sewed up, right? Your lower back. And as they do like the black market, right?
I don't think it was a very good movie.
Urban Legend.
It was a good concept. It could have been a good movie.
Urban Legend. Yeah.
Yeah.
They deal with that one too, right? In that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what I remember that too.
You know the one thing I don't get about that urban legend though is why would they bother sewing you back up? I never got it. Like, are those people who are like into these black market fucking organs? Like, are they really that thoughtful? Like, let's sew this guy back up and put him in ice so that at least he doesn't die.
Maybe if they get caught, it's just a lesser charge. It's like
maybe
right. Theft.
Right, theft. Right, it's not even a felony. It's like, this is about $500. It's less than that limit of it makes it a felony.
Class C misdemeanor.
Right. It's like, well, sir, you clearly are alive, so we can't charge him for anything more than petty theft.
Right.
Okay. So he continues. She drinks the water, makes you order French champagne. Oh no, she never drinks the water, makes you order French champagne. Once you've had a taste of her, you'll never be the same. Yeah, she'll make you go insane. Come on. So this woman is clearly trying to. Not only did she take his money, now she makes him spend more money when they go out. She'll never drink water. She always orders French champagne. So.
She actually sounds kind of fun.
Well, he does say once you've had a taste of her, you'll never be the same. So, at least there, at least there's not a, there's one thing to, walk through life with apathy and never experience any emotion. At least she's like, waking. Maybe this guy was just like going through life, middle manager somewhere, and just nothing's happened to him, and now this woman's woken up those dead nerves that he's had sleeping for years, and this is the reason why he knows she's bad for him. He's had a taste for her, and his dull life will never be the same. He's like Edward Norton in Fight Club, and that moment when he met Brad Pitt and
they fell in love,
and Helena. It really is a love story between those two, right? That movie.
It's hard to blame him. It's Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah. So I'm sure Ricky Martin would have preferred Brad Pitt in this song.
Don't look into his eyes.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it pretty much just sums up again what she's doing to him, and then it then goes back into the chorus At
She's
least.
gotta drink water sometimes, right?
If she does order water, she orders like those expensive bottled waters that in really nice restaurant costs you, I don't know, $30. You mentioned, right?
Yeah.
You used to work at this fancy restaurant, and just opening that bottle was like what, $40 or
Yeah.
$30 or.
Wasn't that much. It was probably like they just add up because you open a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about 12, $15 for a Fiji water. I don't know.
That's a lot, yeah.
But when you're opening 3 or 4 at a time,
Yeah. So she probably does drink water, but that's probably the water she drinks, right? Like the expensive bullshit spring water.
no. For those of you out there, if you ever go into those and they ask you if you want sparkling or spring water, tell them you want tap water.
Tap water.
Unless you really want to pay for that
Yeah.
premium on some gas station Fiji water.
Yeah. Okay, so he goes again. He goes to the chorus. We went over that earlier. I'm not gonna repeat it, but he's again reiterating that she's living a crazy life, and her lips are devil red and her skin's the color mocha. But then he continues after that with "She'll make you take your clothes off." Oh, and again he does the same thing. Again he's showing you that. He has to take off his clothes and go dancing in the rain. He's showing you why he stays with her, right? She'll make your life crazy, but she'll take away your pain.
Sex, drugs.
And then he goes again with the chorus. Again, this is a very catchy song, so he repeats the chorus a lot of times, and then he ends it with just repeating La Vida Loca, La Vida Loca, La Vida Loca. That's it. That's the song. In a nutshell,
This is the part where songwriters get lazy.
But it didn't matter, John. When that song came on the radio back when we actually listened to the radio, don't lie. You were not. You're gonna change that station. That summer, that song came on. You're turning up that volume. You're lowering your windows. You're jamming out to it, right?
Yeah. Well, I was 13 for sure.
Yeah.
She will wear you well.
And like I mentioned, it came out. It officially came out in March, but it was, hot. It was the hot song right through the summer, and in fact, it was Ricky Martin's biggest hit. It was his first #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100. And it remained at the top
Do you know another one off the top of your head?
of Ricky Martin songs?
Yeah.
Not really.
I don't think I know any. Maybe if I heard it, I'd be like, oh, okay. But there's nothing else that comes to mind.
And then before this song, I knew of Ricky Martin a little bit, but I wasn't. I'm not his biggest fan, right? I'm not saying anything against the guy, but just And I'm sure a lot of people that was the same situation. He was. He was pretty big in Latin countries, but I think this song has really made him, transition into a big artist in this country.
Right, a real ladies man.
Real ladies man. It was at his height. This really was the height of his popularity. He was in his late 20s when the song came out. He was 27, so still a relatively young guy. He was a child singer. He was in this have you ever heard of so there's this Puerto Rican boy band named Menudo, and what they would do is essentially they would they formed this band with a bunch of young kids, young guys, and then once they became too old to be a young singing group, they would kick them out, John, and they would just replace them with
I was like, aren't they still doing shit or what?
Yeah, so Ricky Martin was part of this weird Puerto Rican boy band, and
like soap operas that are on for fucking 50 years.
Yeah.
Keep replacing the cast.
Yeah, it was formed in 1977, and for a while they just kept bringing in new blood until the late 2000s. 2009 was the last year that they decided to replace replaced that band with Young Boys, and then they stopped. But Ricky Martin came from that, so he was famous from that in the '80s, and then obviously transitioned into, out of that band.
It sounds creepy.
Young Boys.
The concept of like you boys are getting too old and we need fresh young boys.
Right? It's like this weird vampire like society that they need new blood to fucking suck out of, something that I'm sure Tom Cruise has in his basement, right? He has this group of young boys he sucks. He fucking has his blood fucking mixed in with every morning, so he stays young.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
Peter Thiel thing with the blood boy.
Yeah. But he transitioned.
All that.
Yeah, but he transitioned out of that genre in the '90s. He became a in his 20s a sensation on his own, and it culminated with this hit in his late 20s. So very much popular. It like I mentioned, it was his first #1 hit, #1 song in the Billboard Hot 100, and it remained there at the top for 5 consecutive weeks, and it ranked in the number 10 in the top 10 until the year-end chart of 1999. So the whole year, from March of that year all the way to the end of '99, it stayed in the top 10. Nice. It was certified platinum, which means it had sales of over 1 million physical copies in the U.S. alone.
Can you still go platinum today with digital stuff?
I think they had to the qualifications, they had to change it a little bit, because obviously people don't buy physical records or CDs anymore.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's a weird time.
No, I'm just saying it's weird that you had to change it, and then who's to say it's the right way to do it?
Yeah. And it had a pretty big award season too. It was nominated for a bunch of MTV Video Music Awards. Do they still do those MTV Video Music Awards?
I think so. I think at least up until a couple of years ago, unless I'm thinking of the movie awards. But
no, this is the music video awards.
But you think, why would they? If they do the movie, they think they would do the music.
Do they still do the movie stuff?
I don't know.
Actually, they do, because I see one here for 2019. So obviously the one in 2020 is coming up in August. So we'll see if that happens. But no, it was nominated for a bunch of awards. It was nominated for Video of the Year, didn't win. Best Male Video, didn't win. It won for Best Pop Video, Best Dance Video. It won International Viewers Choice Award for Latin America North, Latin America South, and coincidentally, an International Videos Choice Award, Russia. And it was also nominated for Best Choreography in a Video and Viewers Choice Award, but it didn't win those. Actually, now I'm curious what won Video of the Year in 1999. What video beat it out?
So it's probably the answer to who was big.
Video of the Year was Lauryn Hill's "Doo-Wop That Thing." Actually, you want to guess what was some of the other songs that were nominated for Video of the Year? Other than Ricky Martin's "Livin La Vida Loca" and Lauryn Hill's "Doo-Wop That Thing." I mentioned one of them earlier.
Was one of them Eminem?
No. Will Smith for Wild Wild West.
Okay.
Korn with "Freak on a Leash," and Backstreet Boys for "I Want It That Way." So.
All right. I didn't think. Well, I guess Wild Wild West was popular.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, even though Wild Wild West, the movie, was sort of a bomb in terms of Will Smith, it still made a lot of money.
Yeah. I did spend my money on the Millennium album.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny? I remember that was the year that, because we're fans of the team, the Spurs won their first NBA championship, and they did I think a local news station did like a send up of Wild Wild West when they were like going through the Western Conference Finals. So that's how I remember Wild Wild West from that year.
I'm sure it was fantastic.
Yes. All right, John. So great summer to be alive. That was probably one of the better summers of my life that I remember. A lot of entertaining pop culture going on to remember that summer by. Particularly this song, "Livin La Vida Loca."
Ricky Martin changed your life.
He did, John, for the better. But moving on, John, let's go back a few decades before then. Let's turn over that 45 to a lesser known song, maybe, or an older song. I'm sure much of our younger viewers or listeners, if they haven't heard of Ricky Martin, and this song, they probably haven't heard. Maybe they've heard of this artist, but definitely maybe they haven't heard of this song. And the one that I'm speaking to is Johnny Cash's "One Piece at a Time." This song came out in 1976. It was recorded by Johnny Cash and the Tennessee Three, and it was the last song performed by Mr. Cash that reached the number one on the Billboard Hot Country Singles Chart. And it was the last of his songs to reach the Billboard Hot 100, and where it peaked at number 29.
Can you mute me first? Let me mute myself. I want to hear it for a second.
Sure. And while John's doing that, let me talk a little bit about the song itself. Just to give you a little bit of background, it essentially is a song about somebody who works at back in the day we actually built vehicles in this country, believe it or not, and this song goes back all the way to the 40s, where the main character in the song is working at General Motors, particularly in Detroit, Michigan, back when Detroit, Michigan was the center of automobile assembly in this country. And he is working for General Motors, and he is particularly in there, he's installing wheels on Cadillacs. So this song is about that man. Did you have time to listen to the song, John?
Yeah. I got it pretty quick where I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we laid out the background a little bit. Here's
Doesn't Joaquin Phoenix sing this?
in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does. And did he win the Oscar for that movie? I can't remember if he was just nominated. He was just nominated, right?
She won.
She won, but he didn't, right?
I don't think he won, but she won.
So anyway,
it's pretty rare when the two stars both win.
I think the last time that happened was for Silence of the Lambs, I want to say.
I think Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt did it. I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was the last time, probably.
Your favorite movie?
Yeah. So like I said, it's about a man putting together, putting wheels on Cadillacs, John, at the General Motors plant. So the song starts off, "Well, I left Kentucky back in '49 and went to Detroit working on assembling line. The first year they had me putting wheels on Cadillacs. Every day I watched them beauties roll by." So, it's such a lyrical, such a storytelling song, right? It's telling you this guy, living in Kentucky, living the dream, living the dream in Kentucky, decided to leave in ¡49, and I guess the dream back then was to assemble cars.
There's nothing to decipher in these words.
That's what I love about it, right? There's no mystery to it. So I guess his dream was to go to Detroit and work on cars. So he was put on the assembly line, John. Literally, that's all he did was put wheels on Cadillacs all day. You think you can do that all day? Just putting wheels one after the other, after the other, after the other. Saying.
Not even. I know you're talking about the mental aspect. I don't know if I could physically do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially back then, it was all your strength. That's the whole point, right? There was no machines to help you. That's the reason they needed people to do it.
No.
But that was his first year, John.
Tire shops.
Was that?
I see people at tire shops make it look easy.
Yeah. But I mean that was his first year, so I mean maybe this is a rookie year job assignment, right? So that's what they had him doing his first year, and he said, he watched them beauties roll by, and sometimes I hang my head and cry. Are you a big Caddy fan?
Some of them are cool, but no, I'm not one of those guys that like I want a Cadillac.
Right. So actually, I guess back then, right, they were a lot those classic Cadillacs, those 40s, 50s Cadillacs that you see in mob movies, right? Like from the 60s,
Yeah.
even into that era. You see those the luxury
Scor-
car of choice.
Scorsese used Cadillacs a lot too.
He blows up a lot of Cadillacs, right, in his movies.
I think so. They seem like they're usually Cadillacs, right?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he, this,
He just hates Cadillacs.
right? He's like, I'm a Ford guy. No, I mean it is Ford, but he's like, I don't like Cadillacs. But no, this guy loved Cadillacs, right? This guy, I mean, he would cry, John. Have you ever cried for a car?
No. I've cried in a car for unrelated reasons.
But it wasn't the car itself making you cry.
No.
Okay. you're very unromantic towards cars then. But this guy John, he has a deeper affinity for cars, I guess.
It's like what I told you before. It's like when you're in the car, you don't have to look at it.
That's true. Right? Yeah. I guess I'm the same. I'm not a big car guy. I don't know that much about cars. So it's not something that I've never gotten in that aspect. You're like you. I think I look at it as a means to get me from point A to point B. And yeah, you're right. You're not gonna look at it while you're driving it. But this guy, it seems like he wants it. He says, because I've always wanted me one that was long and black. That sentence itself sort of by itself reads a little differently, right? Because I always wanted me one that was long and black. Interpret that the way you will, folks. One day I devised myself a plan. So he's gonna get himself that long and black one, John. So he made himself a plan. That should be the envy of most any man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
No, I'm just thinking of. Yeah.
So he has a plan, John. He's gonna get himself a caddy, and he has a plan on how he's gonna do it.
And black and veiny.
No, this guy has a plan to get himself a long black Cadillac. He has a plan, John, and he says this plan is so good that it should be the envy of most any man. So he's cocky. He thinks his plan is so legit, so genius that most men would envy it. Not having had thought of it themselves. So this is his plan. I'd sneak it out of there in a lunchbox in my hand. Now getting caught meant getting fired, but I figured I have it all by the time I retired. I had me a car worth at least $100,000.
You talking about sneaking out money?
He says sneaking out a piece of a car in his lunchbox, one piece at a time. So it goes back. So it goes back to the name of the song, right? One piece at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but he knows, he admits it there. He knows getting caught meant he would get fired, but he figures, hey, fuck it, I'll have it all before I retire. So he's a patient man.
Why is your lunchbox the size of a Cadillac?
But he's a patient guy, right? He knows it's gonna take him a while. I mean, how long do you think it would take you to sneak out a car one piece at a time, John? You can only take it as much as you can fit in your lunchbox.
Years.
Well, this guy, he's gonna do it until he retires, and he says he'll have himself a car, at least $100,000. But you would think, just save a little bit of money, right? Isn't that better than trying to sneak this thing out one piece at a time? How much were they paying him back then, where he couldn't save up a few years and get himself a car on his own?
I think he'd be less likely to get caught just stealing a little bit of money at a time too.
But he continues. He goes, I get it one piece at a time and it wouldn't cost me a dime. You know it's me when I come through your town. I'm going to ride around in style. I'm going to drive everyone wild because I'll have the only one there is around. So
What year was this song?
this song came out in 1960. No, I'm sorry, 1976. But the man is speaking to us from the 1940s.
Oh shit! I mean, the car's gonna be worth $100,000 back then. That's a lot.
How much are Cadillacs now though? Were they worth that much back then?
I don't know what the fuck he's building that costs $100,000 in the 40s, or that's worth $100,000 in the 40s.
Right.
Even though he's talking about maybe it was worth $100,000 in the 60s when he wrote it, but even then, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, because I mean, the most expensive Cadillac today isn't even worth 100. I don't think it's worth 100,000, right? The
No.
Escalade is the Escalade the more expensive one?
There's some cool sports ones like CTSs and stuff. but-
Okay. Like even an Escalade 75 grand today. It says here.
Yeah. Which is the one that looks like a Batmobile? I like it. They're real sleek.
The Escalade Premium 104,000. The Eldorado, back in 1957, Cadillac Eldorado cost 13,000 new, but with inflation it costs 100 grand. But I mean that guy didn't know that. I mean, is he motherfucker like doing inflation in his head? It didn't cost, you know. Like even in the 1930s, a Cadillac aerodynamic coupe cost 7 grand, which with inflation today's dollars 147,000. I mean,
Actually, I was thinking of because I know what the CTS is, but the sleek version, it looks like a CTS, but it looks so much cooler as those XLRs.
okay. Yeah, you know
And
more
they're
about it than I do.
They're a lot more expensive.
Okay.
I just know I just like them because they kind of look like Batmobiles.
Okay. I know about the CTSs, but other than that, yeah, and the Escalades, but
I'm just curious how much.
I'm not
they
much
do.
of a car guy.
Never mind. Sometimes they're pretty.
Yeah, but enough to make you cry, you know?
Not really.
CT6V 94,000.
What is it? A CT what?
CT6V.
CT6V. What's what that looks like real quick.
It's just their CT models. I'm sure it just has a lot more add-ons, but yeah. I don't get that part of the song. At least 100 grand. Who knows? We'll figure it out later. But he continues. I get it one piece at a time. Oh, I already went through that.
Turns out he can't count.
So the very next day when I punched in with my big lunchbox, okay, so he's not stupid. He's gonna take the biggest lunchbox he can get, and with help from my friend, I left that day with a lunchbox full of gears. I've never considered myself a thief, but GM wouldn't miss just one little piece. So this big company, GM, you know,
I don't want to get off track, but again, this song came out in what year?
1976.
Okay. You know that candy bar 100 grand came out in 64. So, I'm just saying, it's very possible. That's what he's referring to.
Maybe. But you know this guy doesn't see himself as a bad guy. You know, he's a good guy, but he really wants his car, John, so he's going to do things that he normally wouldn't do for it. And he brings his big lunchbox. And he's, you know, he says GM wouldn't miss it, and maybe they wouldn't, right? They wouldn't miss just one little piece, especially if and then he continues, especially if I strung it out over several years. So you know, after a while, they won't notice it, right? He says the first day I got me a fuel pump, and the next day I got me an engine and a trunk. I don't know how you can fit a trunk in a lunchbox, but okay, let's just suspend our disbelief here a little bit, right? Then I got me a transmission and all of the chrome. that can you imagine trying to steal? I don't know. Can you steal a transmission one piece at a time?
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how small a transmission gets when you take it apart.
Oh, but here it is. Here it is. He does explain this. Okay, the little things I could get in my big lunchbox, like nuts and bolts and all 4 shocks. But the big stuff we snuck out in my buddy's mobile home. Okay, so he's cheating a little bit. He mentioned his grand idea was gonna be in his
he just abandons his whole plan.
And this plan that he was so cocky about, like it's gonna be the envy of every man, and he's already ditching that. He's gonna use his buddy's mobile home. So okay, so that makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Like I was gonna put it in this little metal lunchbox, but fuck it.
It's funny how he had no thought in that plan. He realized the practicality of it. He's like, oh shit, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Hey Bob, bring over that mobile home of yours. You can steal it in that.
Need 4 guys in a giant moving house.
Not okay. So up to now, my plan went all right until we tried to put it all together one night, and that's when we noticed that something was definitely wrong. The transmission was a 53, and the motor turned out to be a 73. So the implication here is he did it over 2 decades, John.
Right.
So he finally finished. He has all the parts, and now he's realizing, oh shit, it took me so long to get everything. Now nothing's compatible with each other. And when
this is fiction, right?
Yeah.
I was like, God damn.
And when we tried to put in the bolts, all the holes were gone, so we drilled it out so it would fit. And with a little help from an adapter kit, we had the engine running just like a song. So they had to improvise a little bit. So they had to Frankenstein the shit out of this fucking multi-decade part car, fucking parts from like 2 different decades. Now the headlights, that was another sight. We had 2 on the left and 1 on the right, but when we pulled out the switch, all 3 of them come on. The back end looked kind of funny too, but we put it together, and when we got through, well, that's when we noticed that we only had 1 tail fin. So not only did they have these incompatible parts, they forgot some shit. They only had 1 tail fin. About that time, my wife walked out, and I could see in her eyes that she had her doubts, but she opened the door and said, "Honey, take me for a spin." Now that's a wife, ladies and gentlemen. A wife, she knows her husband's a fucking idiot. She saw this guy for 20 years, free fucking car parts in his fucking little lunchbox.
Hey Johnny, what's with all the fucking lunchboxes?
This is a woman who knows clearly that her husband's a big fucking idiot. She probably knew from the second he told her that night his plan. She just nodded her head and said, "That's nice, honey. At least you know she thought he's gonna have a little hobby on the side. He won't be out drinking and cheating on me." But this is a woman who loves his husband.
Yeah, work. They're like, we've never even seen him eat lunch.
But she came out and she sees this fucking fucked up car in front of her. And, instead of criticizing the guy and calling him an idiot for wasting his 20 years doing this, she played along. She had her, like he said, she had her doubts, but she said, you know what? She opened the door and said, "Honey, take me for a spin." Now that's a wife, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wife, every man should have. A wife that's gonna encourage your stupid fucking stunts, knowing that you're a fucking idiot. But at the end of the day, they're gonna go along with it.
For 20
years. So we drove uptown just to get the tags, and I headed her right on down Main Drag. I could hear everybody laughing for blocks around, but up there at the courthouse they didn't laugh, because to type it up it took the whole staff, and when they got through, the title weighed 60 pounds. So how do you even register this fucking thing?
After the title weighed 60 pounds. What does he mean by that?
Well, he's registering this car at the downtown, right? He's getting his fucking title.
I just did that recently. I don't know. But I'm just saying, what does it mean that title weighed 60?
I don't know. Let's keep going.
At first I was like, is he British? But he's talking in dollars earlier.
Yeah. And he goes through the chorus, and then And then the song ends, oh, yeah, Red Rider, this is the Cottonmouth. In the Psychobilly Cadillac, come on, huh? This is the Cottonmouth. And negatory on the cost of this machine, there, Red Rider. You might say, I went right up to the factory and picked it up. It's cheaper that way. Huh? What model is it? And this is where he's, obviously, he shows the patience that he had. Because he says, well, it is a 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 automobile. It's a 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70 automobile. So there it is. His Frankenstein Cadillac, John.
Is that in the lyrics?
Yeah.
That's funny because that's missing from
That's the
the last thing I have is what model is it?
yeah. It's the last part.
Okay.
I think some of these websites might cut off some of these lyrics. Depends on what you have.
I thought you were making that part up.
So there it is, John.
I see it now.
Your time is up, I'll tell you why.
You like that ad that just came up here?
Yeah. But there it is, John. A song about a very patient man who had a passion for a Cadillac, and you know what? You got to give up for his persistence, right? I would have given up by month 2.
Right.
But this guy kept at it every day, every month, every year.
Bring in that.
And he did it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he did, but I don't think he really did. Johnny Cash. He died a rich man, right?
Johnny Cash. Yeah, but he went through a period where he wasn't popular like for a while.
Oh.
I do think he went through some lean years in the I think especially right before he sort of kicked drinking. I think for a while he was really heavy into his drinking, and then I think he realized how, I forgot when he stopped with the partying a little bit, but I think they're the 80s. I think they're the 80s. He had a lot of lean years during the 80s. I don't think the 80s were kind to Johnny Cash, or to a lot of country music people. Although what, I will say this: I've for me, I think the 80s were one of the more interesting decades for country music.
At the time of his death, they still had him worth $60 million.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
You know how many $100,000 Cadillacs you could buy?
Right. Yeah. No, definitely.
like building it with his hands.
Yeah.
One piece at a time.
Didn't him and his wife die within like less than a year of each other?
Good question. I don't know. The same year, a couple.
He died. Yeah, he died 4 months after June Cash died.
Yeah, I think you might be right there.
Yeah, that's crazy. So,
June Cash, same thing. Right?
Yeah. So Johnny Cash, one piece at a time, John. So those are our 2 songs. Two pretty good songs.
Johnny Cash was living La Vida Loca.
Yes. Imagine Johnny Cash sang "Livin La Vida Loca" and Ricky Martin sang "One Piece at a Time."
It's funny. Johnny Cash did we started doing like cover songs. It's like,
well, he covered a few songs, didn't he? I remember one of the more famous ones was the Trent Reznor's "Hurt." Actually, that got him a pretty. I don't know how far up it went in the charts, but it was pretty popular too.
He used it in a movie, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually a good cover.
Yeah, it's a pretty good cover.
It
That was right before he died.
Yeah. Let's see. He the other one that it hurt. Didn't he also do? Yeah, he did a Coldplay song too, right?
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. Remember that? It's like they're one of those like that Coldplay song everybody knows.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah. And he did U2 one.
okay. So yeah, I think he started doing that more in his later years.
Yeah. No, I mean, all this stuff was late.
Yeah. So there it is. There it is, kids.
Not a whole lot of deciphering in the second song.
No, that's not, that's a love of country songs. They're pretty in terms of narrative, right? It's pretty straightforward. They essentially tell a little story. There's not much symbolism, right, in country songs.
No.
It's like, I got me a tractor. This woman left me. Yeah.
Country.
Please.
A lot of rap too, but
please don't take away my mind. Yeah, I think rap and country music are almost like weird cousins to each other, right? Because rap is the same way. They do sort of tell a story. Sometimes a little bit more profane, right? But it's still a story nonetheless.
Yeah. It always reminds me of remember that movie Finding Forrester?
Yes.
Where he's like
about Forrest Whitaker's son's attempt to find him.
Yes. No. I was like, wait, what?
No, it's with Sean Connery, right?
Yeah, but it always reminds me of because I remember seeing it. I think it's still in high school when that movie came out.
Yeah.
Maybe
early
not.
2000s.
Yeah, I think it was high school.
Yeah, early 2000s. I think.
Yeah, but I remember when because he's an author who disappeared for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just talking about all the annoying shit that they wrote about him. He's like, about what I was really trying to say. He's just basically like, and in school they're like always tell you like, it's Great Gatsby. What does the light represent? It's like, maybe it's just a fucking light.
That is true, right? Yeah, you try to. Yeah, that's true.
Like, yeah.
That's true.
I think the Cadillac was a.
That's a Cadillac. Yeah. There's more symbolism there than just that.
Yeah.
Well, there it is, kids, ladies and gentlemen. The 45s. Two different sides to the same album.
Surprised they released this on
145, right? They used to do weird things back then, John. They would release very contrasting songs. It's crazy they were able to do that with two songs made in like two different decades too, right? So 20 years apart, but somehow they were able to do it.
It's like when you buy those DVDs and it's like
multiple yeah.
Like,
Sometimes they try to theme it together, right? It's like maybe the same actor or same director. Sometimes they just don't try. It's just like, what's the three cheapest movies we can put together so we can at least
like
sell this?
One good one and one piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like we have Terminator 2 and Ernest Goes to Camp.
I think I bought a Blu-ray recently with one of those. What was it? Oh, it's Swordfish, Point Break, and Executive Decision on it. So,
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I wanted Point Break because I haven't seen it in a while. I didn't have it, so. But I'll take Swordfish and Executive Decision.
They're actually both entertaining.
Yeah. I still my favorite story from Executive Decision is apparently Steven Seagal. Spoiler alert for a movie that's been out for 20 plus years, but he dies very early on in the film, and when he found out, he locked himself into his trailer and wouldn't come out because he didn't want to die in the movie.
Yeah, John Leguizamo was the one saying that.
Yeah, he's the one who said it. Yeah.
He went on a thing for a little while. He was just trashing celebrities.
That was his thing in interviews. Yeah.
Like I think he wrote a book.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So yeah, very unusual 45. I try to do this because I think it's more fun to to put two very contrasting songs together. Obviously, so anybody listening, if you want any suggestions, put it down. I'm pointing down right now to the comment section. Use that comment section for its use. Put down your suggestions. Put any song y'all would like us to do in the future. We will definitely review it. Look at the lyrics, the meaning, the symbolism, as John said, behind any song that y'all would like us to look at.
Still have a couple that I'd like to do. We can talk about later.
That's cool. So, any thoughts on these songs, though, John, that we just looked at before we go? Any last thoughts?
Not really. It seems like a terrible, fucking tedious way to put a Cadillac together.
Yeah, I guess we can take it. We can take that from that song, right?
Yeah. And then Ricky Martin.
That was pretty straightforward too, right? He's living his crazy life, right? Living La Vida Loca.
Yeah. I just wonder if I don't know. Chick that's into voodoo dolls is like, ugh.
You ever think about what's
even if you're like out with her, but like, don't tell anybody your hobby.
you ever think about that girl you worked with ever, or is this the first time in a while you've thought about her?
I think I've mentioned it because it's the first time anyone told me they were a Satanist.
Okay.
Or probably a few times, I think.
It was your first encounter with a Satanist.
Yeah. Everybody knows people. It's like, I don't believe in God, but it's like, you gotta believe in both. And it's like, I chose Satan.
That is a weird scientific, right? It's like, I believe in these two beings. I didn't pick the one that tortures you to for eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a not choice. Yeah.
I think it's Jim Jeffries that has. Is it Jim Jeffries?
And you know what? If any of our listeners are Satanists, we apologize. We don't mean to make fun of you, but it is sort of funny. I'm sorry.
No, we're totally making fun of it. But it's funny because, like we said, it's like you've evaluated both sides.
You feel the super being that's gonna torture you.
I don't think you can believe in Satan without believing in
God. Yeah. I do. Yeah, I think most all Satanists have to believe in God to believe in Satan. So
I think it's Jim Jeffries where he says basically like Satan doesn't have a book. He's like, God has a book and he's just talking shit about him.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. So with that final words, we leave you for another episode of Malarkey Hour. Stay safe out there, kids. That's all we can say. All right. Bye-bye.
Don't live too La Vida Loca.
Yes. All right. Bye-bye.